Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Frontier Michigan. And today we are talking about the two variations of the Hankook Dynapro AT2s, the standard Dynapro AT2 and the Dynapro AT2 Extreme, and why I feel that the Extremes are realistically not a worthwhile upgrade over the standard AT2. This video was an idea that one of my viewers had unexpectedly gave me. So, MC017, if you're watching, I hope this video will better explain the similarities and maybe some differences between the two tires. And I appreciate you asking about a link that compares the two. And unfortunately, I do not have a direct link to give other than Hankook's website directly and pulling them up as I am here. But I'm going to put it to video, do a comparison on the tread pattern itself and the tire specs themselves, because these tires are so similar that if it wasn't for the slightly different sidewall and the solid white lettering on the Extremes, you really wouldn't be able to tell the difference between them. I've looked at these tires side by side in person, parking next to another truck that had them on there, and I do not believe they are a worthwhile upgrade. So let's get into it. I want to try to see if I can pull up a picture that shows these side by side. So the tires that I'm looking at are of the OEM size for the Nissan Frontier, so they are a 265 70/17, which is a 30 and or 31 and it's 31.6 inches tall. So let's go through the list of features of these tires. We'll go through a list of all the features of these tires. Now, as you see, I am on Hankook's page for both tires, and they just had the page set up goofy on both of them. So, we'll start with the specs, since that'll be the easiest to compare between them. So, we'll go with the OE size on both tires here. The Dynapro AT2 Extremes will be on the right of the screen. The standard Dynapro AT will be on the left. So, as you can see, because these are the same size and load index, there are 115 load index, which gives you 6,000, or not 6,000, 2,679 pounds per tire each. Now, there are differences apparently here in tire compound. It looks like the Extremes have a higher wear rating, so they should, in theory, last longer. So, the standard tire is a speed rating of S, which is higher than a speed rating of T. They both have a traction of A. The standard tire is 36 pounds, whereas the Extreme is 40. They are both mud and snow rated. They are... The standard tire has a 520 tread wear, whereas the Extremes are a 660 tread wear. Both are a temperature B. The Extremes have a tread depth advantage of 12.5 30 seconds compared to the 10.5 30 seconds, which isn't even an eighth of an inch difference, and still does not even compare to any other real all-terrain tire. I mean, even the standard load grabber ATXs that I'm buying for the truck are at 14 30 seconds. So this number here of 12.5 30 seconds is still subpar in my opinion, and not really a worthwhile difference between them. This is where the tire weight comes from here. They are not studdable. They are not run flat on either one. So as far as their specs go, they are very, very similar, but with the slightly deeper tread. That's where the tire weight comes from, that extra 4 pounds. And that's also where the tread wear comes from, because you have more tread to wear on. So if it's the same compound between the two and you have more tread, that's going to give you a higher tread wear rating. So ultimately, by the design of the tire itself, it's not really a worthwhile upgrade. Now, some out there might think the extra 230 seconds is plenty, and it's realistically not. So let's scroll back up. Oh, now here we go. Design. I wonder if I can zoom in on this. Let's see. Trying to see if I can get a good onward facing up close. Oh, this will have to do here. Now I wonder if I can pull this up as a picture of these tires. Well, this is going to have to be the closest here. So, looking at these tires directly head on, you have a very identical shoulder lug design. It's staggered stepped. As you can see, you got one large wide one, a thinner taller one, and then two shorter ones. And we see that here as well. So you have the wider one, you have the taller one, and the two shorter ones that are staggered. The siping is even the exact same shape. Going into the first of the two inner rows from the outsides. So you got this row here. They are pretty much bang on the same shape. You have this kind of polygon here with a little bit of a scallop right there. And you see that here, you have that polygon with the scallop. That tread block has 3 sipes that have a bit of a Z in them right there. This tire has the same 3 sipes in the Z. Going to the smaller block here, looking at the same block, this one and this one, they are the exact same shape, kind of like a stretched octagon in a way. Same 3 sipes, same 3 little zig in them. So even that's the same there. And going into the center row, you have basically this broken up polygon or whatever it is, whatever shape you want to call that, right there. And you see it here as well. So you have the 2 tighter ones and the 2 tighter ones here. They have 3 sipes each across. These have 3 sipes each across. And they are the exact same shape. They have the staggered steps here. And you see the same thing here. So the tread pattern between the two is exactly the same, which makes it okay as an on-road tire for everyday use. But as far as being an all-terrain tire, they're not really all that great for that. Could you get by? Sure, you could. Both these tires are three peak mountain snow rated for severe snow duty. Now they say that these shoulder blocks are staggered, and that might be true. But I've seen these tires in person, and these scallops are so shallow that they might as well not even be staggered or scalloped at all. Whereas the standard AT2 has like almost no scalloping at all, just this very fine amount here. This tire is a little bit deeper, so that's what I'm saying. The Extreme has a little bit nicer of a sidewall, but it still has the exact same tread pattern, and it's marginally deeper. That is not much of a improvement. You know, both tires have the tie bars in them. Now, what I'm talking about with the tie bars is in here on the outer shoulder blocks, there is a tie bar that encompasses probably the bottom half of the lugs, which is shown here in yellow, and they're here. Kind of hard to make out because of the way the web page is. You know, they're claiming 70,000 miles for a P metric, which, you know, that could be, but I'm not seeing that kind of life now. And the standard AT2 is supposed to be a 60,000 mile tire. So yeah, you have a little bit nicer sidewall, and you have the solid white lettering on the. Of course, they decided to put a truck there that don't have the white lettering, but yeah, you got a nicer sidewall, and it's a white lettering. This is really, to me, the only appeal of the Extremes is the solid white lettering, because not very many tires have that, and I actually do like solid whites over outline whites that the standard tire has. I just don't see it. I do not see these as a worthwhile upgrade over the standard tire. And this is comparing directly with P metric for P metric. You can get the AT2s in an LT as well, just as you can get the Extremes as an LT. But comparing them spec for spec to how the AT2 rolls off of the showroom floor, they are not a worthwhile upgrade. And for grins and giggles, hey, let's try to get the LT spec pulled up, because I want to see if there is truly a difference in the tread depth between the standard and LTs. So LT 265 7017. The tire is a little heavier, and you got 15 30 seconds. So still just shy of what would be a standard LT tire all-terrain, which most all-terrains are around 16 to 17 30 seconds. 15 is on the lower end. The general ATX is when I step up to my 285s and go to the LT and E-load, or 16 30 seconds. The Cooper Strongholds and the Cooper Road and Trails, those are 17 30 seconds. The Falcon Rubitrex, I believe, are on the lower end. They're like a 30 seconds, but this 30 seconds is, to me, below standard for an all-terrain, when the average tread depth of your big name brands are 30 seconds, so you're still lacking there. Tire is 49 pounds per. You get a little bit higher load rating, and they're 10 ply. So moving up, same thing now for the standard tire, because I know you can get these in an LT. I've seen them, unless they discontinued it. Which they might have discontinued it. Hankook has a funny habit of slowly discontinuing a tire as they roll out a new one. So, at one point I was able to pull up the standard tire as an LT. So, yeah. Going to the LT, you do have more tire there, and that is typical of pretty much all the all-terrains out there. Even, let's say, the Generals I'm moving to give you more tire. BF Goodrich, I believe, gives you more tire there. It's just the way it is. So, yeah. Hankook is kind of at the bottom of the list for me as far as tires go. Kind of wish I can get an actual page that doesn't have all the animations on it. So that's my thoughts on it. I mean, other than the nicer sidewall and the white lettering, this tire here, the Extreme, is not a worthwhile upgrade to me. I do not believe it is worth it. You're getting slightly more tread depth. It's less than 1/8 of an inch, I believe. In fact, we'll even pull this up. To 30 seconds to inches. Let's see what that comes out as. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Like 30 seconds is 1/8 of an inch. And you're talking 30 seconds. So realistically, that is a 1/16 of an inch tread depth difference between the tire. You are not going to notice that. Now, you will notice like 30 seconds of a difference. You know, that's going from the standard load AT2 to the LT Extreme. There's a 30 seconds difference, and yeah, there will be a difference there. But at the end of the day, no, I do not believe that they are any better. They might be if you want maybe the additional tread wear, but ultimately, I do not believe they are a solid enough upgrade. They just don't give you the tread depth, nor do they give you any more of an aggressive tread pattern. They are identical tread patterns, and if you look at them in person, side to side, like I have, the scallops on the shoulders are just not deep enough or aggressive enough to justify the difference. Hankook has typically always been fairly conservative on their tires when it comes to their all-terrains. I've never seen a super aggressive all-terrain out of them. Now, their mud tires, on the other hand, better. But all-terrain, I wouldn't even call this an all-terrain. I would probably call this the AT2 and the AT2 Extreme as an all-purpose tire, meaning it's more on-road oriented with some off-road capability. So while this tire may do a lot better on-road than a lot of other all-terrains, these tires will suffer off the road. There's nothing here on these tires, whether it's the AT2 or the Extreme, that would make them great in mud. And they are barely adequate enough for me here in Michigan. So it is what it is. They are the exact same tire with a nicer sidewall and solid lettering. That's really all I am seeing on these tires. There's nothing in this tread pattern to suggest that the Extreme is a better tire. They have the same tread block design, the same number of siping, and you know, if you're going with the OE spec, then you're getting a 1/16 of an inch deeper tread. Is that worth it to you? I don't know. That is your decision. To me, it's not. So, if you're watching, I hope this helps, and I'll catch you guys on another video of Frontier, Michigan. Let me know down below what you guys think, and we'll catch you guys later.